and welcome back to part 26 of Death and Request, where today we're going to be re-exploring the Godot ruins in hunt of the final terminal stone. But first, it wouldn't be a new part without plot, so hey! Ow, what the hell? You're here to do research, right? Why aren't you focusing? Oh, well, were you thinking about Lydia? Don't worry, I'm sure Lydia will walk right through those doors someday, heading straight through the TV to watch her anime. No matter what her situation is, to us, Lydia is Lydia. Nothing will change that. That is, unless something happens to us. Tokyo, sometimes it's like you read my mind. As my notions of truth became increasingly obscured, I knew I had to give more care to the company I kept in my life. Damn right, Tokyo was the best. By now, all I wanted was to keep my colleagues close. We started this journey together and we would end it no matter what the future held. If Lydia really killed someone, then as her friends, we're going to steer her back to the light. I won't abandon her. I've been collecting my thoughts. Okie dokes, let's get back to reading. A new religious group, huh? The next reality object found by Sheena and the rest of the girls was a copy of a book of religious scripture even. Tokyo and I ran up and down the library, searching for related information, but it was of no use. We had no choice but to cast a line out to deceive misinformation, connecting our PCs to the library's Wi-Fi router. The religion is called the Herited Luma. I'm getting hits, but is this it? I mean, this barely counts as a religion. They've all got a lousy splash page. Let's see. You're right, there's only 4 hits. Look at this page. It's supposed to be their official site, and it openly lists the entire doctrine of their organisation. I thought I recognised the language as Latin. I turned on Aggle Translate and voila. God and what? Only when God and it coexist will the world turn. Why is this one part jumbled? It looks like they intentionally blocked it. There's no other parts of the translation that have been replaced with symbols too. Why would the app block these words? Hey, that can't be. It might lead to a truth fragment. Wait a minute. Tokyo, look. Huh? I pulled up the scripture item we found from the World's Odyssey, and the words Tokyo had translated filled in the missing blanks. Suddenly, the jumbled areas made total sense. Oh, we can read it from this end, so it is in Latin. What does it say? It mentions a new race, hominis. Huh? The full sentence read, only when God and man coexist will the world turn. God, huh? Pretty lofty claim for a small-time religion. Tokyo, including what we just saw, every occult-related truth fragment was found with something that existed in the real world, right? Yeah, I guess you're right, but don't tell me you believe in God now. Don't give me that look. I know it sounds crazy, but ever since Odyssey came into my life's been turned completely upside down. Remember when Anjo said about people being at the mercy of their destiny? Ever since then, it seems like this stuff is just too surreal to be mere coincidence. I mean, I have no other explanation. Well, you were the one to experience everything from up close, like a ghost, a doppelganger, and the illuminated letters. Well, we're at the point where nothing's out of the question. Let's keep reading, we might be able to find more info. Let's see. During the turn, God granted mankind sapience. He offered the gift of words. Only words can cleanse the land. Words are a blessing everlasting. An excerpt is extracted here. Oh, there's a link at the end. Let's click on it. Strings of code. What? How? As we clicked on the last words of the so-called Word of God, we were redirected to a page with all the strings of code for World's Odyssey. You've got to be kidding me. My head is about to explode. The strings of letters. Wait. System failure. Please reboot the world server. Only words can cleanse the land. Words are a blessing everlasting. The occult. I thought it was a bug. Huh? What's the matter? Arata, what are you talking about? Just then, the wheels were turning in my brain and it clicked. Please give me more. I want to know so many things. God of Death, Master Arata. That's right! The voice in those dreams have been haunting me for nights. The voice belongs to you! Alice of the Ludens. Am I the God of Death? What the fuck? Did you cause the bugs? What the hell's going on in this place? Hey Arata, you okay? Arata! When I snapped out of it, I woke in the arms of Tokyo, who was aggressively shaking me. Huh? Tokyo? What's the matter? Don't what's the matter, me? You began rambling like a madman. Your eyes went white. You gave me a heart attack. Huh? I thought I was just in the library. You You started seizing up, so I took you back here. Don't you remember? No way! I've got a headache. Sorry to ask, but could you give me a glass of water? Sure, hold on. Sit tight, okay? Poor Tokiwa. The truth behind this world. How this world came to be. Reality is bending, distorting in ways that shouldn't happen. The warping of our daily lives is something occult behind this. Then there must be some way to fix our reality. Just like how there was a bug-killing programmer that can manipulate World's Odyssey. What if someone is capable of manipulating and distorting our reality? In the same way I can see whatever Sheena's doing, what if someone's watching me? Death End time! This one's a bit unsettling, and it's one that I actually got by accident my first time, thinking I was getting the safe option. Finding out the truth is your death ending. I finally understand how ignorant I truly was. That's right, this world is a lie. I am not however I am. Death, 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 death. Reaching out for the truth too soon drove Arata insane. That's your death end. That one's more of the subtle ones, but it's still a bit creepy nonetheless. So you just have to be yourself and let that truth elude you for now. Ah! Huh? What the hell was that? Am I in such a wreck that I can't tell whether or not I'm logged in? Something's wrong with me. Maybe I just need rest. Huh? Tokiwa? Tokiwa, hey! Where did she go? Huh? God, I didn't realise this load screen was so long. I would have cut it out. Oh no, that is the end of the cutscene, and we're left in silence again as like don't get me wrong, I love Rin, but it feels like Tokiwa is like your only ally sometimes in in Arata's story. Like she's the only one who's constantly by your side. She's always there trying to help, whilst everyone else comes and goes. But as we press on through the Godot ruins, there's a whole bunch of little scenes to see here. Hey, something's stuck to this tree branch. You're right, it looks like a letter. Claire, could you grab it for me? Oh, can't reach. Oh, that's right, you're pretty short, aren't you, Sheena? You want to talk, Mr. Enigma? You're the shortest one in our group. Hey, I got it. There's like a map or something. I can't make out what it's a map of, though. Wow, are these all the kingdoms that exist in Sharode's world, huh? A map? Give it here.
Huh?
Huh? Oh, Sharode, where'd you come from? This is... Did you remember something? This is my kingdom. My world. That's right. Tomugara is where I was venturing towards the Promised Land. All in the name of my new kingdom, Valkyria.
What?
Promised Land? Sounds a lot like us. We're heading to the legendary mystical sky capital. Well, all of a sudden, I feel a kinship with you. Spare me the pleasantries. I must hurry and return.
Right.
Can't wait for you to leave either, but just how do you expect to get back? Well, come to think of it, that is a good question. That is it. Sorry for your predicament, Shiro. Sounds like a scavenger hunt's still on. Shiro, why don't you travel with us for the time being? I am Shiro. I do not keep company of those who scuttle across this planet. Wow, awfully rude. No, she's like, oh, fuck. Hey, wait up! She went off on her own again. Doesn't Shiro get lonely walking by herself in a place she barely knows? She's determined, I'll give her that, but I wonder what that scuttle across the planet line was about. Anyways, let's get a move on. So there's the next step of our side quest. The third step is also here as well. And there's also a boss encounter, and that gives the impression that it's optional, but you do have to do, because then accesses you to another Arata scene that then allows you to access another barricade. But the game would try and pretend that it was an optional thing and you didn't have to do it, which is a bit cheeky, but it's why there's 3 exclamation points, because one of them is the continuation of Shirode's quest, one of them is the main objective we're going for, and one is the thing that the game's going to pretend is optional, but we have to do it, otherwise we can't get Arata's scene to continue the game. But as I mentioned last time, invincible bows are going to start appearing on the map naturally. But in the Godot ruins, in this extra section of the Godot ruins, is where our third and final terminal stone is. After here, we are finished with, in the plot, returning to previous areas.
All right.
But keep in mind I specified in the plot. That's there are the 2 DLC areas, and one of them does take place in the Godot ruins, but it is a different layout, but it's the same scenery. And the other ones of an area we've yet to actually go to, which is why I won't be covering that yet. I'll be covering the Godot ruins as DLC one at a few parts time. Once we're done with this area, that's when I'll be covering the first DLC area. Which I'll make sure to specify again, just because you can miss it, but it's not that big of a deal if you do, kind of thing.
Thanks.
But it's that exclamation point to our left that I just turned away from. That's the one that the game's going to imply is optional, but it really isn't. As I explore for other stuff. But yeah, we don't actually have that much left in the Great Adventure. Like, we're on chapter 8 now, I believe. And there's 11 chapters. Because chapter 9 is our first new dungeon in quite a while. And then chapter 10 and 11 is a 2-part finale, essentially. And I'll make sure to specify before we proper start chapter 10 where I'd recommend leaving a spare save if you're going for the true ending, or just want to explore some of the optional stuff post-game. But as you press on up here, we're going to have an interesting encounter. Someone's humming. There she is. Long time no see, Rapuka. Good day, everyone. I didn't expect to run into you all at once. Jiggle physics. Yo! It's Rapuka of the Ludens. Oh, so this is her, the sadistic bitch who murdered Lucille's friends and her villagers? I thought I trapped you back in Rosaria Forest. Guess Alice took pity on you, did she? She should learn how to mind her own business. The plan was to drive you mad until you starved to death. Then I was going to watch as your poor bodies decompose in the forest soil. Lucille! You haven't learned your lesson, have you, babyface? Guess you're a half elf, you're only half competent. Lucille, calm down! Oh, seeing your face turn red gets my heart racing. Delicious. Can you imagine what it'll look like as I'm torturing you? Alright then, let's dance. The night is only beginning. Behold my crimson nocturne. Rapuka round 2, here we go. This fight you actually have to win.
I refuse to lose.
As we get to listen to this amazing theme again. But, yeah, just as a fair warning, Rapuka means business. This fight kind of comes out of nowhere, and you might get caught off guard by it. I know I did on my first playthrough. I really wasn't expecting Rapuka to just show up here. But if you do know it's coming, be prepared, because she can absolutely wipe the floor with you, but you have to win this fight. Which is why and because her glitch spots are stupendously brutal, you're going to see I'm not going to bother touching any of them. I'm going to try and remove them as much as I can with like things like Sheena's attacks, because a lot of Sheena's ranged attacks affect the glitch spots and get rid of them. Because although that one boosts magic, it also took off quite a big chunk of my life. Also, Rapuka's speed is not to be trifled with. Although she missed one of her 2 strikes there, as a general rule, expect her to hit all of her attacks. It's better to prepare for her to hit everything, because if that second struck hit, it would have killed Claire then and there. But thankfully, Celica's so goddamn OP, we can finish this fight really quickly to stop Rapuka from being the ultimate threat. But it is absolutely worth mentioning if you're not using Celica because you find her too overpowered, or whatever reason you're just not using, or you don't have her fully upgraded or fully kitted out. This fight is absolutely goddamn brutal. She can absolutely wipe the floor of your whole party if you give her the chance to. Yeah, the fighting game genre is another thing that really makes me want Compile Heart to just get all the brands under their license together and make a fighting game out of it. Give in to your hatred! More! Prove to me that you have a chance of killing me! Ah! What's the deal? She's unstoppable! More! More! I'm almost there! You're not mad enough! Shoot to kill! No, not good enough! I'm not convinced! You filthy half-elf! You're the most useless! What'd you say? I slaughtered your kin without batting an eyelash. You should despise me with every fibre of your being, no? Of course I do! Liar! Liar! Why didn't you expose what you really think in front of your friends? Huh? Ludens can sense exactly what emotions swirl in that meek heart. How embarrassing! Looks like you're missing joy! Huh? Since you are half human, they ostracized you. They spat on you, mocked you, and in the end, they exiled you like you were less than trash. I punished them for being sniveling and cowards. Admitted you liked it when I showed them just how weak those pathetic worms really were. No! I could practically see it on your face. They had it coming, didn't they? I bet you wished I'd killed even more of them. No! You loved it when I made an example of Metan too, didn't you? The conniving bitch. How'd she like to be torn in two? No!
Don't be shy. Be honest with yourself.
No, no, no. No, no, no! Lucille, calm down. Don't let her get to you.
Ooh, I'm shaking. Too much drama. I'm going home. Toodles, friends. I've got more killing to do, but I'm sure Lucille would agree.
Lucille, please, stay strong.
Yeah, don't listen to that meanie's bullcrap. Everything's gonna be okay.
Damn, she's rambunctious. Screw her.
Let's just cool it down a bit. Take a deep breath, okay?
I hate her! For killing me, Todd. Lucille. But what she said, it might not all be wrong. There's something inside of me, apart from my grudge against her. I actually do feel a sense of joy, because I suffered terrible abuse, and that can never be forgiven. Lucille, no! They're the ones who were wrong. What's wrong with being half-breed? Why was I made to suffer? That's right! She should have killed them! All of them! Serves them right. Yeah! Serves them right. More should have died! The movie's dead! The face of a smile that can't be had. A life without joy is a lifetime of dread!
Character sequence collapsing. Character sequence collapsing.
This is fun. I'm happy. Lucille, control yourself. You can't give in.
Promptly eliminate unknown factors.
God damn it! She's starting to glitch.
None of you give a damn about me. Just shut up.
Do you know who I feel sorry for most? Lucille's voice actress. It sounded like she decimated her throat during that. But if you lose the fight, you get another death end for it, so I'm gonna cut straight to that.
Sheena? No. You gotta be kidding.
This feels good. Oh, so good. Violence. I mean, I didn't do anything wrong. They made me this way. Yeah! They're dead. Dead. So funny.
Lucille. Why?
Oh, still alive? Guess not. Must have been a muscle spasm, huh? Too bad. Lucille, enough of this. Please. I know you're in there. Don't let the buggy win. Don't let yourself go.
Lucille, no!
Who are you? I don't recognize you. At last, that obnoxious heartbeat's gone quiet. I feel so much better.
How could you do that to her?
Wow, Sheena's blood is so pretty. It flows like a fountain. I know. I've got just the trick. Sigo ni manaka. Suri likati some stop. Yeah. Buncha-cha, buncha-cha. Huh? Their necks are slipping a bit. What a shame. Oh, I know. It was just missing the magic touch. Demented waltz. Buncha-cha! Buncha-cha! 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh no! One of the heads fell!
Sequence initializing. Progress at 45%.
Jeez, I don't know what was more creepy. What became of Lucille, what she did to Sheena and co, or the fact that it broke Arata to such an extent that he started laughing as well. But either way, the way the fight's supposed to go, when you go to fight her, similar to Al, you will be fighting her more than once, so be prepared for that. But because she's 100% magic focused, the game kind of wants you to replicate that. So you're going to see Celica's kind of useless in this fight. Which I know, complete rarity, but she really can't do much here. Because of her magic preference, or focus, you need to be focusing magic yourself if you want to actually deal any decent damage. Which arguably makes this the hardest one of the lot, because it's very unlikely you've been prioritizing, like, magic. Because physical attacks are so powerful in this game. Also, poor Claire's, this is another fight that I wanted her in that she ended up being kind of useless in. But thankfully, with how little health she's got left, Celica can just finish it. Despite the fact she has real low SP right now. But like I said before, you will be fighting her again, so we've got a scene coming.
Lucille! Not you two! Why must I be chained to this unruly fate? Sheena, let's save her!
It's just like what happened to Al! Her buggy was suppressing an emotion that's sending her over the edge!
The emotion that her buggy was devouring is joy!
Just like the others, she's totally bugged out. Her stats are rising out of control. Watch out!
I've done nothing wrong.
Things are turning sour fast. That buggy's sucking the life out of her. Even if she were to retain her sanity, I won't give up on her! I will never give up!
This feels good. Oh, so good. Violin. I mean, I didn't do anything wrong. It was their fault I ended up like this. Just because I'm half Japanese. When I moved to Russia, they bullied me. I grew up in an orphanage in the countryside, where the church ruled everything, and where people like me were called half-breeds. It was the kind of church that neither spared the rod, nor spoiled the child.
I knew it! Lucille also has memories from the real world!
The end of the world doesn't sound so bad, does it? I don't want to save anyone. I'd rather see everyone dead. Yep, you heard me. I wish everyone in the world was dead!
Lucille! Buggy! Leave her alone! What do you know about human emotion?
We've almost got it. Attack that damn bug!
Looking into a bit of history makes Lucille's, like, reality past a lot more depressing than it probably even first sounded. Russia and Japan, and how little they get along, is probably the understatement of the century. She probably wasn't bullied, she was probably fucking terrorized by the people around her. Like, she was probably outcast by any orphanage that took her in. Probably thrown away by anyone she thought would care. Like, I can imagine it was hell. And it's just because the relationship between Russia and Japan is hideous. There's still a lot of ongoing hatred between the two that have existed for years, for decades even, that just won't go away regardless of how much history has passed. And so when the moment she said that she's half Russian, half Japanese, I was like, that must be hell. Because she would have been bullied in Russia and bullied in Japan. Regardless of where she went, she would have been a target. An easy target. But that being said, this second phase is same verse as the first. So she can use a few more of her attacks, some of which you might not have for her, similar to when we fought Al for the second time. But if you won the first time, you'll win this one. Like, I've no reason to think that this fight you'll lose to. However, like I said, we do have the unfortunate problem of Claire being a bit useless in this fight. You're going to see me try desperately to find some use for her, but absolutely every skill I try gets countered, so it ends up just not happening. And Celica, as I've mentioned before, really isn't that helpful because Lucille's physical resistance is stupendous in this fight, and incredibly unrealistic because she's frail as fuck when she's on your team. But when she's a boss, no, because they want you to use magic on her, because she's the magic user. But I believe this might end the fight. Oh no, how much it's missing, it probably won't, no. If all three hit attacks had hit all three times, you might have got a bit closer to doing so. I think she has more health on this in this fight compared to the last one. So you can see me again, like, glancing through, just going, what can I do? And then eventually like, no, I can't do anything. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of not putting anyone on Claire's backseat because I didn't think the boss was going to counter her. Whilst everyone else absolutely can backseat and swap out. So because Celica's kind of useless as well, I bring in Al in the hopes of making a difference. Which I think is like one of the first assist swaps you've actually seen me do in the game. Because I rarely find a reason to do it.
This is good. You pest. Is that all you got?
But yeah, as I was getting to, like, before these cutscenes, like, the little fighting game thing that you saw when we got the fight against Rapuka always makes me kind of wish that Compile Heart would get all the games under their branding, so all of Idea Factories and all of GRPGs, like, characters, and put them together in a fighting game. Maybe reach out to someone else to do it, because I doubt they would make it too brilliant Lee. I don't know, because I don't think they've had the experience with it. Like, if you can get Ark on board, do it with them. But can you imagine like the Neptunia cast, Death End, Mary Skeletor, Dragonstar, maybe even a Data Live character for all I care, like just thrown together in one thing? That would be really awesome. I think there'd be a lot of fun in there.
My joy!
But either way, I'm talking over another cutscene, so I'm gonna have to shut up again for a minute.
Bad boy! Lucille!
Okay, good. She's still breathing. Looks like we took out that nasty pest.
What a relief. Play with me, sister.
Svetlana Amo, I told you this isn't a place for you. You're despicable. Half-breeds like you are undeserving of God's grace. Now hurry up and return to the basement.
Sister. Ow! Ha ha! Half blood, baby wants to cry. Throw her out! It hurts! Look at her! She's crying! Run away! Mommy! My father was Japanese, which made me stick out in Russia. I became an easy target. Both of my parents passed away, and I had no family. I was accepted into a church orphanage, but even there, they found no place for me. On my 16th birthday, I ran away from the church and headed towards Japan, my father's home country. Making friends was hard, but I soon found a job at a department store to make ends meet. Little by little, I learned Japanese, and I was finally beginning to feel like I belonged. Oh, what's this black car?
Svetlana Amo,
Yes, that's me?
you have been chosen!
Lucille, how are you holding up? Sheena. Oh, thank goodness. We were scared for you. Let go of me. I'm so ashamed. Goodbye. What? Come on, Kimura. Fly! Why won't you fly for me? I want to go. I want to get away from this place.
The chair is...
Is Kimura angry?
It's okay, Lucille. Why would you want to run away from us?
Lucille, please, have faith in us. We worry about you. You are a precious part of our lives. Because I'm not as pure as you, Sheena or Lily, or anyone else. I've always lived in shame. I hate myself. Because I wish death upon everyone who treated me like filth. Huh? Ow. Why are you shaking my hand? I totally get it! Huh? Finally! Someone who I can relate to! I mean, I could talk all day about the people that get on my nerves, like when people steal my bread. I secretly wish they'd step in poo or get an eyelash stuck in their eye, right? You all know what I'm talking about, right?
Duh! I love nothing more than seeing shady creeps get their cosmic justice. If only you knew how long my crap list was.
Why, I've lost count of how many times I've stuck my tongue out at someone. Me too. Sometimes I feel like punching Mr. Enigma when he runs his mouth.
Seriously?
Really? I don't believe you guys. Come on. We all have hearts that sway to the whims of our emotions. They're what make us human. If you've got enough humility to express shame, then it tells me you've got a pure heart, Lucille.
Hold on to that joy. Take good care of it, okay?
This is the first time that someone's ever given me a real compliment. You have no idea how much that means to me, Sheena. Thank you, everyone.
Our pleasure, Lucille.
Yeah. Hey, Sheena. Can I have a hug?
Huh? Oh, sure. Like this?
Yes. You're so warm.
Oh, Himada's in a good mood again.
I'm sorry for worrying you, Father.
Father?
Didn't I tell you? When the Entoma had targeted me as a potential host, my father, the mage Kamada, came to my side. He tried his best to protect me, but his spell backfired and he transformed into a chair. Because of the Entoma, I wasn't able to leave from the chair.
What a weird bug.
I see. Who would have guessed your dad has been traveling with us this whole time? Man, I thought I'd seen it all.
Mr. Kimada? I'm sorry, I had no idea. I was so rude to you. Oh, you're gonna forgive me?
Al, you've got a funny way of putting things.
I learned everything I know from a plucky adventurer I met when I was just a kid.
Anyway, Lucille, earlier you mentioned having some fancy name?
Huh?
You said Svetlana Amo?
Oh, I remember. That was my name. Inside of my dream, I mean. It was freezing, and children mocked me. Then I fled to another country, where I was taken against my will.
You too, huh?
It was a dream, but it felt as real as this. It was scary.
Izanashi!
Yep. That means Lucille's one of them too. She was abducted by those sick rabbit fucks. Sheena, I need you to continue on with your journey. I've discovered who might be hiding behind those rabbit masks. Aggle.
What? Haggle?
Yeah. There's something I have to confirm. I need to log out for a bit, but I promise I'll be back soon. You got this.
Okay. Please be careful, Mizunaishi.
I hope he'll be okay.
Did Enigma vanish into thin air again?
Oh, yes. Off on one of his adventures, I guess.
Oh, I see. Well, time to retrieve the last terminal stone.
Okay.
Should I tell you what was probably the most relatable thing I've had from a character in a very long time? Was Lucille, just after finishing having her moment, just goes, "Can I have a hug?" Like, fuck, you know, I relate so hard to that. Like, I'm sure we've all had that moment. Maybe not we've said it, but we've all had that moment, like, where shit's gone up, we've just had a real bad moment, for whatever reason, then afterwards we kind of just be like, fuck, I want a hug now. Like, or, like, even if you don't necessarily say it, you think it. Like, I related so hard to Lucille at that point. Obviously for very different reasons, but it's just like, I was like, aww, like, I just wanted to help her. I was just like, yeah, I would have hugged her as well. And because Lucille's like probably like one of the most precious members of the group. Like, she's the most, like, almost want to say naive and innocent, despite the fact she's gone through so much. Hey, Mr. Enigma, you still want to call me that, but it's just the two of us? Oh, forgive me, force of habit, I suppose. It could also be that you're picking up an adorable trait or two from Mr. Enigma without you even realizing it. Adorable. Anyways, hello, Mizunashi. So, how's it going? Please update me. Update you? Yes, for example, could you tell me about some of the Enigma's current projects? Current projects, huh? We've had a few here and there, but why are you interested in all of a sudden? Oh, I've been feeling inspired lately to make a new game. I was curious if anything you've been working on is similar to what I had in mind. Something tells me you've already got an idea for what you want to make. Yes, first off, it's another RPG, but this time... just listen to her story. Oh well, silly me, I got so carried away that I lost track of time. Yeah, me too, it was so engrossing. I think you're onto something there, really, I would never have looked at it like that. Thanks a million. Talking my ideas out to you has stoked my imagination even further. You're amazing, Sheena. Despite this terrifying predicament, you're still in touch with your creative side, a director through and through. When I first found myself in this situation and almost died from it, my initial thought was how messed up everything seemed. But as time went on, I began exploring this world for myself, and I began jogging my imagination more. My new game is going to require so many items, quests, and dungeons. I need to get right to work. I don't want to let my ideas slip. Someday I know all this fighting we've done in this world will pay off. Interesting. How do I put this? She's so studious. No matter what happens to her, she takes each experience and learns something new. Do I sound impressive like an up-and-coming director? Just kidding. Since you're an up-and-coming director and all, I'd be honoured to program your next project then. What? You'd do that for me? I've learned so much about programming through my time inside of the game too. As long as we're working together, I'm sure our next baby will be a smash hit. Sure, but would you mind not referring to our next potential title as your baby? What? Oh, why not? Enigma, look over here for a second. Huh? Poke? Oh, what the hell? Thanks for the warning. Made you look! Enigma, you sure have soft cheeks. Fell for it my ass. Jeez, I was in the middle of something. Oh, he's such a troublemaker. Seriously. Al? That's so mean. You seem so upset, so I wanted to offer you something to laugh about. That's all.
This isn't good.
Oh crap, I actually made her cry. Comfort her. Oh, you okay? Hey, calm down here. Want some water? I didn't mean to call you a troublemaker, okay? I appreciate you looking out for me. In fact, because you're such a jokester, I usually count on your good graces to cheer me up. Al? Enigma, I wish you could see yourself. You look pathetic. What?
Aw, shucks.
I didn't know you thought so much of me, Enigma. Jokester, huh? You're getting soft, Enigma. I'll be here to pull you out of the ruts as long as you need me. Hey, you were faking it. Yep, want a piece of me? No, I'm glad it was a lie. What? Hey, I didn't expect that reaction. Sheena! Enigma's being a weirdo. He's being all polite. Just look into the distance. See, even Arthur's starting to care for these people. Now he knows that most of them, let's be honest, all of them aren't NPCs. What's the matter? Something stressing you out? No, just thinking more about the dream. Oh, you mean the dream about that strange world? Yes, though when I think about it, the dream feels much closer to a memory. Can you recall what you saw in the dream? It's difficult to explain, but I was in a room lined with beds. There were sick people who appeared to be resting on top of them. Could you recognize anyone there? I do not know. Both myself and the people around me were running around frantically. It was quite the labour, almost scary in fact. Scary? Yes, I felt as though if I hadn't hurried, I'd be too late to save them. I can't remember anyone's faces, but I don't think I knew anyone. Then that must mean Lily's memories aren't connected to any other NPCs. Each girl has her own respective memory and dreams, huh? Enigma? Oh, sorry, continue. Okay, I was approaching this room as a group of people pointed their stares at me. In the middle of this well-lit room was a bed surrounded by machines I'd never seen before, and on it an old man was lying unconscious. Besides the man bed was a small metallic table with an arrangement of thin knives. I took one. What's the matter, Lily? The only thing I remember next is that I pointed my knife towards that man. But I had no intention to hurt him. Although my behaviour seemed to contradict my intentions, I know for a fact that I was trying to save that man's life.
What do you mean?
Wait. Maybe Lily worked in a hospital. Her description sounds an awful lot like an operating room, so it makes sense. Mind if I ask you one thing? Sure. Could you describe what you and those around you were wearing? Yes, well there was some differences between here and there. Everyone was dressed in white coats. I knew it. What did you know? Oh, nothing, thanks. Huh? There's no way that Lily, the NPC, would know what a hospital looks like, which means that Lily, the person, must have an actual connection to the real world. The question then, how did she get here? Yeah, way to not soothe her fears. Wasn't it terrifying, Lucille's expression, I mean? Talk about demented, I felt my heart shiver. Well done though, watching everyone band together to save Lucille. Lily, Al, Lucille, they should consider themselves fortunate. Are you unhappy, Rapuka? Well, Rapuka's DLC clone?
I am not sure.
I still wonder what path lies ahead for me. It's harder than it looks. The voice inside my head urges me to kill, to give these ghastly cravings. I can't resist. However, whether or not heeding this urge will fulfill me remains to be seen. Besides, what if a day comes where there's no longer a victim to kill?
Shall I
Should such a day come, I suppose I'll just have to kill you. In any case, I can't simply abandon my desire to kill. The day I achieve true happiness might be the day I cease to exist. I know that my death won't be a lonely one though, nor would it be peaceful, and I know what that means. Next time on Death and Request, we'll continue searching for our terminal stone. But before I leave you, the last thing I want to leave you with is Rapuka's boss theme that we've heard twice now in its full entirety. So I'm going to leave you to enjoy that, and I'll see you next time. Take care now.